Welcome to Education Bench, where serious ACCA students come to stop guessing and start passing. No fluff, no filler, just everything you actually need. Here is something the ACCA pass rate data will never tell you directly. Most students who fail F2 do not fail because they are not smart enough. They fail because they studied the wrong things, in the wrong order, using the wrong method, with zero strategy. F2 is not a memory test. It is a thinking test. And the moment you understand that one sentence, your entire preparation changes. Stay with me in this video because I am going to break down exactly, section by section, topic by topic, mark by mark, how you pass ACCA F2 in your very first attempt. And I am not going to waste your time with motivational speeches. You are an ACCA student. You do not need motivation. You need a plan. This video is built specifically for you if you are registered for the ACCA F2 Management Accounting paper, also known as MA under the ACCA Applied Knowledge level, and your exam is coming up in the next few weeks or months. Whether you are sitting the computer-based exam on demand or at a scheduled sitting, whether you have studied before and want to finally clear it, or whether this is your very first go at it, this is the most complete exam strategy video you will find anywhere online. I have broken this down the way an ACCA tutor with years of exam room experience would, not the way a random influencer with a vague study vlog would. Every single point in this video is mapped directly to the ACCA F2 syllabus as published. So let us get into it. Section 1. Understanding what F2 actually is. Before you open a single book, let me tell you what ACCA F2 actually is, because most students misunderstand it from day one. F2, Management Accounting, is not about memorizing formulas and regurgitating definitions. The ACCA examining team designed this paper to test whether you can think like a management accountant, someone who provides internal financial information to help businesses make decisions. That is the lens through which every single question is written. The moment you stop treating F2 like a theory paper and start treating it like a decision-making simulation, your performance jumps. And that is not my opinion. That is what the examiners themselves say in their reports year after year. Now let us talk about the structure so you are not walking in blind. The F2 CBE is a 2-hour paper. It contains 35 objective test questions, each worth 2 marks, plus 3 multi-task questions worth up to 15 marks in total, giving you 100 marks overall. You need 50 to pass. That sounds manageable, and it genuinely is, if you prepare correctly. The problem is that students consistently underestimate the multitask questions and over-prepare for the wrong objective test topics. I will tell you exactly which topics carry the most marks and where to spend your precious revision hours. Section 2. The F2 syllabus areas and their real weightings. This is where most students go wrong. The ACCA F2 syllabus is divided into the following areas and you need to treat each one differently based on its mark weighting. The first area is the nature and purpose of cost and management accounting. This carries a relatively low weighting and is conceptual in nature. Do not spend more than 2 hours total on this. You need to understand the difference between financial and management accounting, the purpose of management information, and the role of the management accountant. That is it for this section. The second area is cost classification, behavior and purpose, and this is where things get serious. Cost classification is the backbone of everything that comes after it. If you do not understand the difference between fixed costs, variable costs, semi-variable costs, and stepped costs, and more critically, if you cannot calculate them under different output levels, you will struggle across multiple sections of the paper. Spend real time here. Draw graphs. Practice calculations. Understand why a semi-variable cost behaves the way it does and what the high-low method actually gives you. The third area is business mathematics and statistical techniques, and I want to be very direct here. The index numbers, time series analysis, and regression analysis questions in F2 are some of the most consistently tested topics in the entire paper. Students skip them because they look complicated. The students who did the work here pick up marks that others leave on the table. Learn the formula for a line of best fit. Understand how to read a scatter graph. Know what the correlation coefficient tells you and what it does not. This is not advanced mathematics. It is applied arithmetic with a formula sheet. Practice it until it feels automatic. The fourth area is cost accounting techniques, and this is the largest and most mark-heavy section of the paper. This covers absorption costing versus marginal costing, overhead allocation and apportionment, process costing, joint and by-product costing, and service costing. If you spend the majority of your study time anywhere, spend it here. The multitask questions in F2 very frequently pull from this section because it requires multi-step thinking, which is exactly what those 15-mark questions are designed to test. The fifth area is budgeting, and this includes preparing functional budgets, the master budget, fixed versus flexible budgets, and variance analysis at the basic level. This area is directly connected to the next paper in the ACCA journey as well. So understanding it properly now saves you time later. The most commonly examined element here is the flexible budget, specifically the ability to flex a budget to actual activity levels and comment on the results. The sixth and final area is standard costing and variance analysis, and this is perhaps the single most important topic for exam success in F2. Variance analysis, specifically material, labor, and overhead variances, appears in almost every sitting of this paper. If you can calculate and interpret a full set of variances from a standard cost card, you are looking at a significant portion of the available marks. Do not just memorize formulas. Understand what each variance is telling you about business performance. Let me tell you about a student, not a made-up character. A real pattern I have seen repeated dozens of times. Ellie was a diligent student. He studied F2 for 3 months. He read the BPP textbook cover to cover twice. He watched video lectures every evening. He felt ready. He sat the exam and scored 44, 6 marks short of passing. When I analyzed his practice results afterward, the pattern was clear. Ellie had spent 70% of his preparation time on the conceptual sections, cost classification theory, management accounting definitions, the purpose of information. He had barely touched variance analysis because it looked intimidating. He had done 0 practice on time series questions. He had never attempted a full multitask question under time conditions. He had studied broadly but not strategically. The second time, Ellie changed his approach completely. He mapped out the syllabus weightings, identified his weak areas, focused his revision on high-value topics, and completed 200 objective test questions in the final 2 weeks. He passed with 67. Same student, different strategy. Section 3, the study plan that actually works for F2. Let me give you a realistic, syllabus-mapped study plan for someone with 6 to 8 weeks before their F2 exam. If you have less time, compress the timeline but keep the priority order exactly the same. In weeks 1 and 2, your entire focus is on cost accounting techniques. This means absorption costing, marginal costing, overhead absorption rates, over and under absorption, process costing, and service costing. Do not move on until you can solve a full absorption costing income statement and compare it to a marginal costing equivalent. This comparison, and the reconciliation of profit differences between the two methods, is a classic multitask question setup. In week 3, move to standard costing and variance analysis. Start with material variances, price and usage. Then labor variances, rate and efficiency. Then variable overhead and fixed overhead variances. Build up complexity slowly. By the end of this week you should be able to pick up any standard cost card. Compare it to actual results, and produce a complete variance statement with explanations. In week 4, cover budgeting in full. Prepare functional budgets. Build a production budget and a materials purchases budget from scratch. Then practice flexing a budget and commenting on variances. This links directly to your variance analysis work from week 3, so the consolidation happens naturally. In week 5, tackle business mathematics. This means index numbers, linear regression, time series, probability, and expected values. Use the ACCA approved study materials here because the exam questions are very formula driven in this section. Practice each formula type 5 times minimum before moving on. In week 6, do a rapid but focused pass through the remaining sections, cost classification, cost behavior, cost purpose, and then begin your intensive mock and past paper phase. Complete at minimum 2 full mock exams under timed conditions. Use the ACCA practice platform for CBE-style objective test practice. Review every single wrong answer. Not just the right answer. Understand why your thinking was wrong. The objective test questions. How to approach them tactically. The 35 objective test questions in F2 are not simply true or false. They include multiple choice, multiple response, drag and drop, fill in the blank, and matching questions. The CBE format is designed to test application, not recall, and this distinction is critical to how you read each question. When you approach a multiple choice question in F2, the first thing you do is identify what the question is actually asking. This sounds obvious, but it is the number one error students make. They read the scenario and immediately start calculating, rather than reading the requirement first. Read the requirement first. Always. Every single time. For numerical questions, work backward from the answer options if you are running short on time. If 3 of the 4 options are far apart and one is close to your rough estimate, that is your answer. This is not guessing. This is intelligent elimination. For conceptual questions, particularly in the Management Accounting Purpose section, eliminate the clearly wrong answers first and then reason between the remaining 2. The ACCA rarely makes F2 conceptual questions genuinely ambiguous. One option will always be more precisely correct than the other. Do not flag too many questions for review. Flag only the ones where you have genuinely no idea and need to return. If you flag more than 6 or 7 questions in F2, you are either running out of time or you have a preparation gap. Both of those need to be addressed before exam day, not during it. The multitask questions, where marks are made or lost. The multitask questions in F2 are structured as a scenario with typically 5 sub-parts, each worth between 1 and 4 marks. The total across 3 MTQs is 30 marks, meaning these questions alone represent nearly a third of your available score. Students who ignore MTQ practice almost always score below 50. Students who practice MTQs consistently almost always score above 55. That gap is not talent. That is preparation. The most important skill for MTQs is reading the scenario carefully and identifying which cost accounting framework is being applied. Is this an absorption costing question? A marginal costing question? A process costing question? Once you identify the framework in the first 20 seconds, the rest of the question flows logically. Many students waste time in MTQs because they start calculating before they understand which method is being used. That kills your time management and introduces compounding errors. Practice writing brief explanations for MTQ subparts that ask for descriptions. These are usually 1 or 2 marks each and they are free marks if you understand the concept. An explanation of why under-absorbed overhead arises, or what a favorable variance means in operational terms, is straightforward if you have studied the material. If you have only memorized formulas without understanding the underlying logic, these explanation marks disappear. Ria made one mistake that cost her 12 marks across her first F2 attempt. She had never done a timed MTQ in practice. She knew all the theory. She could do the calculations slowly and carefully. But in the exam, when she hit her first MTQ with 45 minutes left on the clock and 5 subparts staring at her, she froze. She ran out of time before completing the third MTQ. The subparts she did not attempt were all worth marks she never had a chance to earn. She failed by 8 marks. For her second attempt, Ria practiced 1 full MTQ every single day for 4 weeks under strict time conditions, 18 minutes per MTQ, no extensions. She passed her second attempt. The content had not changed. Her familiarity with the exam format under pressure had. The ACCA Question Bank and Practice Platform, use it like a professional. The ACCA Question Bank and Practice Platform, use it like a professional. The ACCA Practice Platform is free. It contains official CBE-style questions for F2 and it is the closest simulation to the real exam environment you will get outside of the actual exam room. Most students use it once or twice at the end of their preparation. That is entirely the wrong approach. You should begin using the practice platform from week 3 of your preparation. Not to test yourself, at that point you are still learning, but to understand the format, the interface, the way questions are presented, and the question types you will face. Familiarity with the CBE interface is not a minor advantage. It is a significant one. Students who have used the platform 15 to 20 times before their exam move faster, make fewer interface errors, and manage their time better than those who encounter the format for the first time in the exam room. In addition to the ACCA platform, Use either the BPP or Kaplan F2 question bank. Complete at minimum 300 practice questions across the full syllabus before your exam. When you get a question wrong, do not just check the answer. Write down in one sentence why your thinking was wrong. This process of articulating your error cements the correction in your memory far more effectively than simply reading the right answer. The week before the exam, what to do and what to stop doing. In the final week before your F2 exam, stop learning new things. I am completely serious. If you do not know a topic by day 7 before the exam, trying to cram it in that final week will displace what you already know. Your brain has a consolidation limit. Use the final week to do the following, and only the following. Complete one full mock exam on day 7. Review your weakest topic area on days 6 and 5 using only your notes, not the textbook. Do rapid formula revision on day 4. Go through every formula in the syllabus once. On day 3, complete 40 to 50 objective test questions from topics you are already strong in to build exam confidence. On day 2, review your mock exam errors one final time. On the day before the exam, rest. Read your formula sheet once in the morning and then leave it alone. Sleep well. Your recall under pressure is directly linked to your sleep quality the night before. On exam day, the tactical decisions. When you sit down for your F2 CBE, the first 5 minutes are not for answering questions. They are for calibrating your mental state in reading through the exam structure. Glance at all 3 multitask questions first. Identify which topic area each one covers. This gives you a mental map of what is coming and reduces the psychological shock of encountering a difficult MTQ mid-exam. Then begin with the objective test questions at whatever pace feels natural. Do not rush the early questions to save time. Those are often the easier ones and rushing introduces careless errors. Allocate your time with discipline. In a 2-hour exam with 35 OT questions and 3 MTQs, your rough guide is approximately 2 minutes per OT question, giving you 70 minutes for the OT section, and then 18 to 20 minutes per MTQ for the remaining 50 minutes. Stick to this. If an OT question has you stuck after 90 seconds, flag it and move on. Do not let one question pull down the entire paper. When you reach the MTQs, read every sub-part of the question before you begin answering any of them. This gives you the full picture of what is being asked, and sometimes the later sub-parts contain information that helps you understand the earlier ones more clearly. The biggest mistakes clarity. Share it with one other ACCA student right now. Not because I need the views, because they need the strategy. The ACCA community is strongest when we pull each other through. Not when we hoard the good resources. Subscribe to Education Bench if you are not already subscribed. We publish content exclusively for ACCA students at every level, from applied knowledge right through to strategic professional. Every video on this channel is built the same way this one was. With the syllabus open, the examiner reports referenced, and zero tolerance for generic advice that does not help you pass. Comment below and tell me your F2 exam date and your biggest weak area right now. I read every single comment and I will reply to as many as I can. Your question might become the next video on this channel. You have everything you need. Now go and use it.